And welcome to a new episode of Father Mahoney's Movie Review. So it's been a while, I know. Today I'm doing Rocky 2. Now, if you guys have been a viewer of mine, way back in January of 2024, me and Cyrus on Mahoney's Madhouse did Rocky 1. So I just thought, since it's January again, let's dive into Rocky 2. So Rocky 2 picks up right where the fight ended. We get a little recap, like a typical Rocky movie. If you guys are Rocky fans, and this time we're on the way to the hospital. Both Apollo and Rocky sustained a lot of damage, and so they both get shipped to the hospital. Rocky has surgery, and you know, basically he took so much damage he can't fight anymore. So he tries to go into advertising and doing commercials for people, and Rocky's lack of education. He's not really fit to be a spokesman for anything. And I'm not bashing Rocky. It's just he didn't grow up with much of an education, so he tries to get him a desk job, and he's told basically like you don't have the education for it, and so he ends up taking a menial job working with at the meat house where Polly works, and it's hard work, but you can see that Rocky is not truly happy. He got the money, they got a house. Adrian's pregnant, and Rocky's trying to provide for his family. Meanwhile, Apollo is starting to get all hate mail because Apollo it should have basically wiped the mat with Rocky, but he took the fight too easy, and now people are saying that he threw the fight and he's an embarrassment, and so it's heating Apollo Creed to fight Rocky again. Rocky comes to the point where he ends up losing his job. He ends up working for Mick at the gym, basically reducing himself because he wants to be around the ring, even though he can't fight. He wants to be, part of things, helping others, and it's beating up Rocky inside, and but finally Apollo pushes Rocky and Mickey's buttons too much, and Rocky decides he wants to fight Apollo one more time against Adrian's wishes. Well, Rocky's still not in the mindset, he knows that Adrian doesn't want him to do this. And Adrian gets so stressed over Polly arguing with her that she ends up going into a coma. The baby's okay, but Adrian slipped into a coma, and basically now training is out. Rocky doesn't care about the fight now. And Mick ends up staying with him, and it's a long road, and we get to that one point where Adrian wakes up and they get to see the baby finally, because Rocky refused to see the baby without Adrian. And Adrian gives that one little word that motivates Rocky: win. She wants him to fight, and she wants him to win. So Rocky gets right back into training with less than a few weeks left. And man, this fight is, I'm going to say this fight is almost as more brutal than the first one, and more brutal on Rocky's half. Rocky is, he's not fully trained, but he has the willpower. And this has the great final ending with them both falling to the ground, and Rocky struggles up to get beat Apollo by 1 second, and Apollo ends up falling on the mat. And yes, spoilers, if this is a 1979 movie, so you should have already seen it. But I'm going to go on record. It's going to surprise people. I like Rocky 2 better than Rocky 1. And I love Rocky 1. I love all the Rocky movies in one way or another. But I think Rocky 2 is the best Rocky movie made. fantastic speech at the end. And who knew? Honestly, when you guys first watched these movies, who knew that we would be watching more of a romance movie or love story about a boxer? Because traditionally when you watch sports movies, it's all just about the fighting, and the rest is the backstory. This is the front story, the love between Rocky and Adrian, and the almost like the father son attribute between Mickey and Rocky too. How basically Mickey stays, like he doesn't even go to his gym to help. He stays with Rocky, so he cares a lot about Rocky. He loves Rocky, and so you guys, how many of you, honestly, how many of you guys thought that you would need tissues watching these movies? Because I use them all the time. I'm not afraid to admit it. Rocky 2, I'm giving 5 stars. And if you haven't watched the Rocky series, I feel bad for you. Start now.